Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast show for the average Joe. This is the Wrestling Diaries. Regular people on from society and find out the things that they wrestle with and they struggle with, and the poetic nature that people pick up and get from that. And me, more importantly, like as a host of the show, I get so much psychological currency and art from all these people that come on, that I'm, especially people I meet for the first time, and it's a very interesting experience. For all of our stuff, go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Pocket Cast, and a plethora of other platforms that have podcasts to check out our content, follow, and leave a review. It helps us show up in more algorithms, which gets our stuff out there. More people can see us and check it out, and our mission isn't necessarily in vain. Not that it would be, because I love doing this regardless. Also, for the video content, to see all the pretty faces, go to YouTube, like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Right there. For more content, we release once a week. And ladies and gentlemen, on today's episode, we have the crooning queen, Lauren Sassy Brown. And the crowd goes wild.
Actually, I feel like you just introduced me to the main stage at a strip club.
Well, hey, we can do that too. Since the show's called The Wrestling Diaries, and so many people always assume that it's about like professional wrestling, my new gimmick is that I introduce people out as if they are a professional wrestler.
Okay, I get it. I get it now.
Sassy Brown, she's coming in. She's going to hit him with the blast or something to finish it off.
You know, that wrestling, it's a real sport.
Wrestling, it's real.
Mm-hmm.
It's still real to me, damn it.
It's real.
It's real to me, damn it. Sassy, thank you for being on here today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
You are welcome. Giving people a little backstory about you. This is like one of many times we've tried to get you on the show, and things just kept falling through.
Damn pandemic.
Yeah. And then we're having some technical difficulties before this show started rolling. And I was like, man, it's just like the universe is against us right now. What is going on?
No clue.
I'm so glad it worked
I told
out.
you, my mama don't want to see this.
Sure she does. Mom, you want to see this, don't you? See a little girl talking about the things in her life and what's going on. So right off the bat, your nickname, Sassy, because your first name, your actual name is Lauren. How did you get the nickname Sassy? It's not because you're sassy, is it?
It might have something to do with it. Yes, absolutely. And speaking of mom, my mom is, they say when you grow older, the ones that you don't appreciate when you're a teenager become your best friend. And
Sure.
My mom is definitely my best friend. But Lord, when I was a teenager, and even what do they call it? A tween.
A tween.
A tween.
Twerking tween.
No, I didn't do that. Because my mom and I are just alike. We did not get along. And she's a very strong woman and sassy in her own right. And I remember we were arguing one day, and we were nose to nose, just going at it.
Yikes.
And she was like, I'm going to slap that sass mouth off your face. And from that point on, I was known as Sassy.
Oh, and it just stuck
Well,
with you?
I mean, it's not like everybody called me that, but it was a nickname. And when I came into the musical world, and especially singing blues and, trying to come up with a band name, I'm like, shoot, I should go back with the old nickname, like Sassy Brown. Actually, my cousin told me it sounded like a stripper's name, but, I said,
Yeah, I can see
whatever
that.
it takes to get people in the door.
I feel like it's a good title. I feel like it would be a good brand. Like the first time I heard it, I was like, that just has a really good ring to it. Sassy Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sassy Brown.
That's.
Maybe for a stripper, for anything. Professional wrestler, stripper, something, anything.
Yes.
Could even be maybe a superhero.
Could be.
Sassy Brown.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot you don't know about me.
There's Foxy Brown.
There is Foxy
so
Brown.
It's right under that category.
Well, and I tell people, so there's a website, sassybrown.com. Our band website is sassybrownband.com. And I always make the disclaimer of the band part.
Right.
And I'm like, you can go to sassybrown.com, but you have to pay to enter.
Okay. So what's
But I mean, she's cute. So if that's your thing.
but so wait, so what is this other Sassy Brown? What is it? Is it like
Exactly.
You know exactly what it is.
it doesn't matter if I know. Matt, how dare you ruin this? I'm trying to make her uncomfortable.
I'm perfectly comfortable.
So tell everybody listening what this other Sassy Brown is. I'm sure they want to know.
I mean, you know, she's just a really cute girl. I've never been to the actual website because you have to pay to enter.
I'm going to go right now.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and pull that up, Matt.
Pull it up on the big screen. Put in my credit card information. No, don't do that. So how did the story behind, you do music, obviously you are a singer. Now do you write music? Do you write?
I do.
Okay. What do you write? Like what kind of music do you write exactly?
Well, it's interesting being a blues singer. For some odd reason, most of the stuff that comes out of my head are country songs. And that's actually, it's probably because, my dad, wonderful human being as well. I think that's where I gained my love of music, because my dad was always listening to music from the time I could hear.
Yeah.
But it was mostly country music.
Okay.
And like what I call real country music.
Yeah, that Western outlaw stuff.
No, not even outlaw. I'm talking Jim Reeves and Patsy Cline and real country music. Okay. Miss Loretta Lynn.
Nice.
But the thing is, he's got just like me, he's got a very diverse musical taste. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, I heard B.B. King, CCR, just, you know, all sorts of different genres through him that really gave me an appreciation for music.
Nice.
So,
now, was he ever a musician or anything like that?
No, he can sing. Mm-hmm. But not a musician. Well, I had to take that back. He plays the ukulele.
Oh, wow. Cool.
So, for some reason, what comes out of my head is typically country music.
Yeah.
But occasionally I write a good blues song.
Nice.
I know, right?
Well, I mean, sometimes the blues and country stuff can go hand in hand with each
Well,
other.
I mean, blues is the root of all music. So, and that's definitely where country music stemmed from. It's just a matter of let me see if I can say this right, iambic pentameter.
Whoa.
Of the music. I mean, obviously, you know, people think a song is just a song, but it has a structure that it should follow. And country music typically doesn't have a whole lot of structure, but blues music does. So, you know, you just got to figure out. I remember, so I don't write music, like the actual music. Mm-hmm. I'm more a lyricist.
Okay.
I do play piano, but not well enough to put the tune to my words.
Yeah.
But Glenn, who is my guitar player and my fiance, he can take it and put the music to it.
Nice.
And the like 3, 4, 5 songs that we've written together, he's like, gosh, these have no pattern. They're so wordy.
Yeah.
I'm like, sorry.
We'll turn it to a rap song.
No, and then he's like, can we take this out? And can we take this out? And I'm like, no.
No, bro, just turn it to a rap song, dude. What are you doing?
Well, I do that too. And that's a funny story. A lot of people may be familiar with Glenn and Libba. They've been a Birmingham staple literally for 40 years. And that's, you know, his original partner in music. Libba is basically like his sister. They talk like 10 times a day and fight like cats and dogs. They're so funny. And Libba is absolutely brilliant. She is one of the most talented, amazing musicians that I've ever known. And sorry, I'm going to, you know, get sidetracked here. My sister is 16 years older than me. And when I was either 19 or 20, like she and her husband had already been going out in the Birmingham music scene, and their favorite band was Glenn and Libba and the Cast.
Okay.
And there used to be a bar on Cobb Lane called the Back Alley. And they knew the bouncer really well, and she felt pretty confident that she could sneak me in. So they did. And that was the very first time that I saw Glenn and Libba. And of course, I sat there completely transfixed by Libba. She's a flautist, and she taught herself to play harmonica, and one of the most brilliant singers that I've ever known. Just the way she twists and turns and makes things her own. I've struggled to find the confidence to do that with myself.
Right.
So anyway, I was completely in love with them. And then so, fast forward, 20 something years later, and here I am playing music with Glenn and about to marry him. So who would have thunk it?
That is insane.
You're right.
So how did you, and also for people listening, obviously, Glenn is a bit older than you. Not that that's a thing that matters, but how did you two, meet up, and what's that romance story look like?
As far as
also real quick, not to interrupt you, but like that, you telling me that story almost kind of reminds me of how Johnny Cash, he would listen to June Carter when she was a little girl on the radio and hear her sing, and then he's like, "Oh, I love that girl. I'm gonna marry that girl." But it's pretty crazy. He's just living in the shack, and she's on the radio station,
right?
And then he legitimately married
that girl.
It's like, what are the odds?
Well, kind of similar. In the music scene, Glenn was saying my name all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Sassy Brown here, Sassy Brown there. And he said one day he was just like, I got to go see who the Sassy Brown is.
Right.
And we were actually playing at this great restaurant, and I call it the Blue Shack in Alabaster, called Champy's Chicken.
Yeah.
And back then I was playing with my guitar player, Matt Willis, who is also a very brilliant musician. Was blessed to have him for sure. And we were playing down there, and Glenn just kind of waltzed in and sat in the back. And I know this sounds kind of stalkerish, doesn't it? And listened to our music. And then from there on out, it seemed like wherever I went, he showed up. Oh, God, that does sound very stalkerish.
Yeah. Stalker guy.
But he would probably even admit, he's like, hell yeah, I stalked you. I wanted to know what you were all about. And then when I saw you, I had to have you.
Whoa.
But
I like his tenacity.
No, he's like a pit bull when it comes to anything. Like when he makes his mind up on something, it's done. So as far as us being together, and yes, you're exactly right. There is a huge age difference. And I know, in things such as this, we're not necessarily supposed to talk politics or religion. But if I could take a brief moment.
I mean, you can talk about whatever you want.
Okay, good. So I'm very spiritual, and
we can't talk about that.
Okay.
We're not going to go on that.
Went through a really bad marriage, and just had some relationship things happen in my life. And one night I was staying in the kitchen cooking, and for any of those who are familiar with India RE, she has a beautiful song entitled "Ready for Love," and part of the song says, "I will be faithful, kind, and true to a man that loves music, a man that loves art, respects the spirit world, and thinks with his heart." And that always spoke to me. Mm-hmm. And basically that's what I prayed for. And I said, this is what I want in my life. I want a home filled with music. I want a love filled with music. I want the exact opposite of what I had in marriage. I want a man who respects me and talks to me, communicates, and, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, sure.
And I was standing there cooking one day, and it just dawned on me. And I held my spoon up, and I was like, you're a funny person. Because the one thing that I left out was age. Mm-hmm. I gave him the whole plan of what I wanted, but I didn't say, well, make him 52 or age appropriate. Because he gave me everything that I asked for. The exception is the age difference.
Yeah. When it comes to age, when it comes to coupling like that, I've always thought it was kind of odd. Now, obviously, if it's within the legal realms, if it's illegal, then obviously, like a 40-year-old man and a 15-year-old girl is not probably
right.
Unless we're living in medieval
times. A little
times.
Different.
But just if it be within the law and just and fine, like I've always wondered, like, because I've seen people to where they're like, oh my gosh, this like. I don't know, a group of college girls, and like, oh my gosh, this guy is fine. He's fabulous, and he looks cool and all this stuff. And then they found out he's like, 48, and they're like, ooh, ew. And then I go, wait, hold on a f***ing second.
Right.
Hold on a second. Just before you were like, oh, this guy's dreamy. Oh, girlfriend, I want him. He's awesome. He's charming. He's just like a fox. But then you find out like he's much older than what your taste is. And now the only thing that's changed is the fact that you know a number that he's established with in his age of living on this earth. That's the only thing that's different. He still looks exactly the same. He still moves the same. He still sounds the same.
Exactly.
Whatever. Smells the same. So the only difference is like the number. So I don't like, is it?
It's a societal problem.
Boom. That's exactly where I was about to go to. It took the words literally right out of my mouth. It's societal. It's
we're right here, man.
Yeah,
we're right here.
It's, kindred spirits, the soul power together. But I've just always thought, like, why does that, like, who cares? Like, if you take that out of the equation, it doesn't matter. And then I guess somebody could argue, like, yeah, but then they're like, I don't know, we're not on the same level because they've lived longer life, or they're gonna die before me, or some shit. Okay, whatever. Like,
I mean, there is all that, and that,
but that could happen now. Somebody could die before you. Could be the same exact age.
I could walk out of here today, and
yeah. And then you could be gone.
Right. Exactly. So
like I don't know. You're right.
It's all just what's programmed into our brains.
It's societal. People like it's everybody's
so
dancing to the same.
And I'm not gonna lie. Like I mean, I
drums.
struggled with that for a while, and just was like, go away. Like no. And then finally, I was just like, why are you fighting this?
Yeah.
Because it's everything that you asked for. And he is a wonderful human being, and
he's a great musician. I'll tell you that.
And he is a great musician.
I don't know him, but I've seen him in work. I've seen him in his art form, and he's good at what he does.
And it's it's fabulous to be cooking in the kitchen and have him sitting there, playing guitar. It's like exactly, like I said, exactly what I asked for. So
freaking tastic. Look at you and your little star-crossed romance. This guy that you saw as a younger lady.
I know. Never would have thunk
dreamy.
it. Yeah. Oh, actually, I didn't even look at Glenn.
Oh, never mind.
I was like, oh, he's good. No, I mean, as a vocalist, of course, I was transfixed on Libba, but still, he was, and it's funny because not only from a romantic relationship perspective, but from a musical perspective, he made me a better musician.
Sure, you push each other.
It's like, you talk about what you wrestle with. Well, one of the things that I wrestle with is perfection.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people think, well, that's a good trait. Not necessarily, because a lot of times, like, I won't even try because I'm afraid I'm going to fail.
Right.
And I held back in my music because I wanted it to be
perfect,
spot on and perfect,
And you're sitting there analyzing every little detail.
Every detail.
So then you go into...
I'd go back and watch videos and like, yes, you just gave me goosebumps because like I would go back and watch videos and I'd be like, oh my God, that was horrible. Oh my,
Yeah.
And granted, like the very first time that Glenn came over to my house and like we were practicing for a show that we had together, first time we ever played together, and we're sitting there in my living room, and I'm like sitting up and he's like, okay, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, how about I'd rather go blind? And he's like, okay. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, something told me it was over. And he sat back and he goes, sorry, Mom, I'm making a direct quote. He goes, what the f*** is wrong with you? When Mom tells a story and somebody says the F word, she always goes, said the F word. It's always in a whisper. So, anyway, and so of course I'm sitting there, going, oh my God, like the god of guitar is sitting here, criticizing me.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, you can't be afraid to mess up. Messing up makes you better.
He's so right. I'm going to kiss this guy on the lips right
I
now.
mean, seriously.
He's absolutely right.
He's like, just let it go and do it.
Yeah.
And then, I turn around and I'm like, something told me. And he was like, there's my girl.
Nice.
So, and since then, he's given me the courage to, step outside the box and not be so worried about not being perfect.
Yeah. Analysis paralysis. That's what it is.
Exactly.
You're analyzing
I've been
things.
diagnosed. Good.
You're analyzing things. So and I got a PhD in thugonomics. So this is the streets talking to you, girl. The streets. Anyways, listen, seriously. You analyze things so much. Like it's like those people and they're like geniuses and they're sitting here like, oh, these steps go to heaven. And they're analyzing, but I got to be careful because if you fall off, you'll fall back to earth or fall to hell or whatever.
Right.
So I got to analyze every single step before I take one because I got to be careful. Like I got to be very careful. And while they're analyzing these steps and taking forever, not going anywhere, there's just people running up these stairs.
Peace out.
They're running up the stairs.
Woo!
They're going to heaven. They're going to heaven. They're reaching Mount Olympus.
Yes,
Boom.
exactly.
And so and I'm only saying this stuff because I'm that person, right? Like analyzing things, perfectionism, all that stuff. What do they think?
Get it.
I got to get this perfectly right. And sometimes you just got to let your hair down. You can have spinach in your teeth or barbecue sauce on the side of your face or toilet paper on your shoe or shit stains on your jeans. Actually, shit stains on your jeans.
Okay, I don't know about all that.
I just went a little far. A little far. Let me back up. Let me back up a little bit, gents, ladies and gents. But seriously, you know what I mean? Like, it's okay. Like, but he's right. If you falter, good. Now you can take that as an education, as a learning point and move forward from it. And then if you don't, cool. But also I almost feel like you almost want to fail sometimes. Like I used to do martial arts training. I did grappling, jiu-jitsu and stuff like that, kickboxing. And a lot of people were really scared about if they weren't doing their moves right and they got thrown on their ass or beat up or choked out or, I don't know, kicked in the leg. And I loved it. I loved to lose. I loved to get tapped out. I loved to get jacked up because it added to this bank. And then the next time I sparred, I was on it. And like I was putting somebody else on their ass. And they're like, whoa.
Oh, that makes sense.
Something.
Okay.
But I loved it. I loved defeat. I loved defeat because it evolved me. Like I wanted to get defeated because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. These people are much better. They're much stronger. They're much smarter. And I want to be them. So I need to lose to learn. So, yeah.
Makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
I identify with it anyway.
So I want to, not to just randomly subject change.
No,
but,
go ahead.
I've
kind of like totally just, gone off in my own tangent. So
No. I love tangents. You were talking to us earlier about how you used to do media similar to akin what we're kind of doing here. Tell me about that. How'd you get into that? What was it?
So I went to college, and majored in broadcast communications.
Oh, okay.
And actually, when I was young, I used to always say, I'm going to be the next Diane Sawyer. Are you old enough to know who she is?
Yes, I know who Diane Sawyer is. Jesus.
But then, and no offense to your, profession here, I discovered that I just didn't have the drive or the ability to dig into people's worst moments.
Mm-hmm.
Put a microphone in their face, and I just, that wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
But lo and behold, actually, my ex-husband got a job at a local television station here in Birmingham, and they were looking for a receptionist. So,
can you tell the station?
It was WTTO WABM.
Oh,
And-
WTTO 21.
Yeah,
Fox
with
21 or
that.
something?
Well, back in the day, it was with the Dubba Dubba twins, and it was it was WB and UPN.
Okay.
And so I started at that, and then got promoted from there, and promoted from there, and promoted from there. He and I moved to Nashville, Tennessee.
Nice.
And I got a job at the local ABC affiliate there. as a sales assistant and promotions assistant. And then actually, so they went bankrupt. But
No.
They went bankrupt, but another company swooped in and bought them, and they had laid off their research director. So I kind of filled those shoes.
Yeah.
And from that point forward, I was their research director, which for those of you who aren't familiar with that, it's kind of really more on the sales side of things, looking at ratings and trends and, to sell those pesky ads that everybody likes to fast forward through.
Sure.
And then lo and behold, I was up there for almost 7 years, I guess it was.
Dang.
Even after I got divorced. And everybody expected me to tuck tail and run home. I'm like, I own a house. I have a good job. I love it here. I'm like, I'm staying. But a very dear friend of mine, Christine, we had known each other since WTTO and WABM back in 2000. She worked for ABC 3340.
Yeah.
And they were looking for a research director. So she put my name in the hat, and they called me. And long story short, gave me the job and moved me back home.
Wow.
So I worked for them for about 4 years, and kind of got out of the television industry. I moved from there to a media sales software company.
Okay.
And worked for them for 7 years. But all in all, I've still worked in the broadcast industry for, I said 15 years, but I forgot to add, after this pandemic, it seems like time stood still, but years have still gone by. So it's actually been 21 years.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you ever miss it? You ever miss doing that stuff?
Working in a television station? No. I was completely enamored by the, I call it the San Francisco mentality. Our company is owned and based in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Or I say our company. Actually, I was unfortunately laid off during COVID. So I'm currently looking for employment. Just saying.
Everybody, help her out.
I'm like, I've got Salesforce experience, cloud experience. I know how to do server centralizations. Anyway, so it's an amazing mentality and not one that I was used to, because I was used to a very stringent corporate world.
Sure.
And they're all about just, love and happiness. And everybody always says we're all about work-life balance, but usually it's bullshit.
Yeah.
These people really mean it. And even the jobs that I've been applying to and looking for, they're like, yeah, we got half-day Fridays, during the summer where you just work half a day. And like my old company, you get to take a sabbatical every 5 years and like go plant a garden or travel to Turkey or, whatever.
I'm sorry. I'm cracking up right now. It's not about what you're saying. I just got a hilarious mental image of me, working at this place, this company. I'm like, I want a place where I can just walk in super loaded and I don't even know what time I can't feel my face. And I just take it on the floor and pass out. And they're like, hey, put them in on the checks.
I don't think
That's what goes through my head, ladies and gentlemen. While you're at work,
quite that
feeding your babies, where you're feeding your babies. This is what Mitchell thinks about, the host of the Wrestling Diaries. Holla at you, boy.
Well, I'll tell you what keeps me up at night. Is it a Russian racehorse or a rushing racehorse? And if so,
Matt, can you look that up?
Why do Russian racehorses have to pee so much?
I don't know. Matt,
they drink too much vodka? I mean, like, what is it?
Seriously, Matt, look that up. I'm not even kidding you, bro. Look that up.
These are the things that keep me up at night.
Yeah.
Which I do kind of suffer with.
We really are kindred spirits. Pound it. Man, pound it, sister. Damn it. We should have been hanging out for a lot longer than this.
Right?
We are legit. I feel like you and me could just paint the town red, which is bullshit.
Oh, absolutely.
Legit. 100%. And I'm having the time of my life.
We'd be like walking into bar. Hello. My name is Sasha, and this is my brother. His name is Kuja. And we could just assume a whole new identity.
The GM's like, hey, the GM's talking to his, the owner's talking to the GM. He's like, hey, get these people out of here immediately.
No, we could play it. We could totally play it.
Oh my God.
I have no doubt.
That's so great. So on a more serious note, you've listened to the show before, obviously.
Yes, absolutely.
Your buddy Margot was on here. Lynette was on here.
Yes.
You listened to Lynette's episode? What'd you think of that?
Both of them. They're fantastic.
So,
hey, those are my girls. And by the way, jewelry by Margaret.
Oh,
yes.
Snizap.
Yeah.
Margot, shout out. Got to get you back on the show. We got to get Ravenel on the show. What's up? Holla at me. I know here's the thing. Here's what's funny. I know that Margot's going to listen to this and watch this. Margot, what's up? By the way, I talked to my co-producer and tech manager. We're all good for doing a small insert of the Wrestling Diaries at your Viking party to interview random people for a quick little wrestling.
Oh my gosh,
diary
that
moments.
would be fun. Yeah, you should do that.
She messaged me about that, so I'm all aboard. But besides that, when are you gonna get your husband Ravenel on here? He can bring his scotch, he can bring his alcohol, his cocaine, whatever it is he does, his strippers. Bring him on here. But seriously,
that Ravenel is quite a character.
He's cool. I love that guy.
Yes.
Every time I see him, he's got a gentleman's drink in his hand.
No, they and Lynette as well. They some of my dearest friends.
Yeah,
and
they're wonderful. I love these people.
Have done. I'll give you an example. A couple of weeks ago at Daniel Day Gallery. Have you been there before?
Yeah. Okay.
Times, yes. Awesome.
Beautiful place. Awesome
absolutely
art.
Beautiful. It's a
nice venue.
Absolute heartbreak that they're closing.
Yeah.
I actually, Daniel and Melody are the ones who gave me my start in this town.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It was 10 years ago, and I went there. I'd been going there for a little while, and I had a guitar player, Matt Willis, and I told Daniel, I was like, "Put me a gig." And he was like, "Okay, put me on the calendar." And he goes, "Do you have a band?" And I'm like, "Nope, but I'll find one." And I did.
Nice.
And the rest, they say, is history. But anyway, sorry, I tend to go off on random tangents.
It's fine. I've got the two topics that
I'm
I
really go.
It's fine.
A couple weeks ago at the gallery, a very talented photographer, Robert Stewart, he had this beautiful photo, and since I lost my job, I'm like, I can't buy frivolous things.
Right.
Margaret bought it for me.
Aw.
And handed it to me and said, sometimes friends just need a little pick me up.
Yeah.
So,
God, I wish I was friends with Margot like that.
Well,
still waiting on that dinner invite, Margot.
Ravenel makes a good steak.
I bet he does, but I wouldn't know because they don't we're still waiting on the dinner reservations. I don't know. What's up? What's up, Margot? Holla at me. Anyways, back to the topics that we were talking about at hand. First, Matt, did you? What's the Russian horse thing? What'd you find out for me?
All right, so this is when I found out.
Right.
Oh, good.
Now, it is pissed like a racehorse.
Okay.
It was added on, rushing racehorse.
Not Russian.
But then I guess the Russians changed that.
God,
okay, yeah, it's a Russian racehorse.
Those Russians want
the
damn
everything. Russians.
They want everything.
So there you go. The original was pissed like a racehorse.
Are you sure it's not a Southernism?
It was just added.
Southernism.
Where it's supposed to be rushing racehorse, but we always say
you have
rushing.
To go piss. You're rushing to go piss.
Well, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thanks,
that made more sense to me than Russian.
Then the Russians took it over. It's a
the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Thank you so much for that, Matt.
Yes.
Those damn Russians, they want everything. They want everything we got. They got to take our euphemisms. They got to take our get more nuclears than we have. Yeah, what is it? What's going on?
Anyways, still elections,
so there's that.
So called.
Right. So the other one that we were talking about is you've done media before.
Right.
You've done media, you've done broadcasting, like you just said.
Yes.
And you've listened to the show, and you're on the show now. How do you think I'm doing?
Mitchell.
Uh-oh. She hesitated. It's going to be bad.
No, not at all. And I told you this before. You have a personality that you instantly make people feel very comfortable around you.
Oh yeah.
And so therefore, you're easy to talk to. I haven't. I told you I was nervous as hell when I came in here.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're just sitting here having a conversation. Something about your aura. I mean, just
Yeah.
You make people feel very comfortable and welcome. So,
well, I
think
guess,
it's a very insightful, very comfortable show. I enjoy it.
I really, really honestly appreciate that.
And
that
you know
sentiment.
me, like I said, they call me sassy for a reason. I'd be like, I wouldn't, I'm still Southern. I wouldn't be like, you just suck. I'd be like, well, I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I
guess I want people to talk to me the way that I want to be talked to. And
Absolutely.
I want them to understand things the way I would understand them to the best of my abilities, right? It's what makes me feel more comfortable about things. And I also want people to be real, right? Like I'm a kind of person, for the most part, not always. I have my own like privacies and secrets and stuff like a lot of people, but here's the thing.
We can all be chameleons.
Yeah, but I wear my heart mostly on my sleeve. So like essentially what you see is what you get. Like we don't go behind closed doors and I'm just putting on a face. I'm like, hi, I'm Mitchell and it's nice to meet. And then I'm like, oh, you piece of garbage. Like it's not like that for me. Like,
that's what I'm saying is that you can feel and see that.
Yeah. I mean, that's all
because I can spot a fake person from a mile away.
Yeah, same.
So
I am just unapologetically me. And if you don't like me, awesome. If you like me, awesome. Like the world, cheers. The world still keeps turning either way. You know, you don't keep up, you get left behind. That's the way I look at it. I appreciate that. It makes me feel good. Makes me feel like what I'm doing here is worth something. I hate that I have to remind myself of that, but I do on the constant because I am a perfectionist, right? Boom.
Now you took the words out of my mouth.
And there you go. But all right, cool. All right, now we're going to get even deeper.
Oh, good.
Go a little bit deeper, right? Wrestling Diaries. It's not about professional wrestling, although, ladies and gentlemen, Sassy Brown, she just hit her with a chair. My God, where are they going to live? She came off the cage, whatever. I don't know how they talk in wrestling. Not
Something
anymore.
like that, I think.
I used to watch it when I was little. Not anymore.
Sure. That's what they all say.
That's what they all say. I'll glance at it.
Okay.
A little bit here
yeah,
and there.
Now the truth's coming out.
Oh, real quick, before I get into the deep part, what do you wrestle with stuff? You were talking about Matt's cheeseburger t-shirt here. So Matt, like I said before, huge cheeseburger connoisseur. So am I. But me and him used to have this established routine where Saturday, me and him would travel around Alabama and go to the best burger dives that had the best reviews. Who has the best burgers? Is it Chez Fonfon's? Is it the gas station? What is that place called?
Chez Fonfon does have a really good
Chez Fonfon has a fantastic burger. J&J's, though, was really good, too. It's in a gas station. Anyways, we would go around, and this guy keeps a diary, and he takes pictures of the burgers, and he writes down the consistency, meat too big, too small, not tasty, and like he would, and that's what we did. The Burger Diaries, ladies and gentlemen.
I love it.
That's what it was.
Do y'all have a podcast for that?
No, but we talked about.
I would totally listen to that.
My friend Dunya.
It's like what is it? Diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Yeah,
yeah.
My friend Dunya from UK. We were telling the story to her when she was on the podcast, and she was saying that we should do an alternate show about that. And I was like, hey. In the future,
totally agree with
it's not off the table. We'd do the Burger Diaries. I know Matt would be on board with that. He might even host that one.
I am totally down for that.
He's all about that burger life. Anyways, so that was the story. I wanted to get that out real quick.
So, by the way, just real quick, let me insert Matt. If you ever go to Nashville, go to Brown's Diner.
Brown's Diner.
Best. Oh.
I might have heard of that already. I go to Nashville sometimes.
It's
He does for sure.
I want to hit up, there's another place up there, the Crying Wolf.
Oh, that's what you were telling me about when we went to Arkansas? God, I hate that we couldn't go there, man. Or didn't get a chance to.
Brown's Diner is just a hole in the wall that's been there forever. But oh my gosh. Every time I would have visitors up there, I would take them to Brown's Diner. They're like, oh, best burger ever.
Yeah. Next road trip. Got to check these out. Maybe we'll do both. We'll do a double feature. Miss Lauren Sassy Brown. Sassy Brown. What do you wrestle with? What are the monsters under your bed and in your closet that you fight with, you struggle with?
How much time do we have?
We got about 5 seconds left.
Is that it?
Yeah, we got some time. You can narrow it down to one villain, one super villain that you fight with the most. Your Lex Luthor to your Superman, your Joker, your Batman.
Probably most of all, this is the hardest thing for me to talk about.
Who gives a shit, man? I don't care. You care? We shouldn't care. Say
Yeah,
it.
of course I care.
Just words and feelings.
It's so much though. It's like, so self-esteem. We talked about the perfectionism.
Mm-hmm.
Daily, I don't feel like that I'm good enough. I always want to feel like that I'm making some contribution to this world, and I want to help people. And a lot of times I feel like I'm just a waste of space and taking up oxygen that somebody else could use.
Oh.
And then because of that, a lot of times I turn to alcohol, which I think, looking at, like, I watched the Aretha Respect, and I watched that movie, and that when she was so drunk that she fell off the stage. And I've actually seen Stevie Nicks in person at Oak Mountain.
Nice.
Be so coked out that she twirled.
Nice.
She twirled around till she fell off the stage.
Damn.
And I mean, so many musicians, either committed suicide or struggle with addiction in some way, shape, or form. And I feel for them because I understand it. I mean, I think it all goes along with exactly what you said. Like, you wear your heart on your sleeve, and it's not just being on the stage, although that's probably the most naked and afraid. That show.
Yeah. I was just talking to somebody about that yesterday.
The most, vulnerable that you feel, bearing everything to an audience of, whatever. It could be 5, it could be 500. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But even just in daily life, it's like, I try not to be a fake person, but a lot of days, I just put a smile on my face.
Yeah, you got to put a mask on sometimes.
Pretend like everything's all right. And it's like, I wrote a song called Easy Way Out. And you can probably guess what that's about. And that's how I feel about suicide. But I do understand it, and understand getting to that point where you don't want to go on anymore. And it's so like a verse is like, some days it just gets to be too much. I have to face the demons inside. And it, like, the chorus is like, strip these veins, take my life of the sin, deliver me from this hell I've been living in, take me up to the stars in your loving arms, and heal for me my broken heart. It's stupid because we talked earlier about being a glass half full, glass half empty.
Right.
I'm a glass half full person too.
Same.
And I always try to, even when in my darkest days, I always try to center myself and look at, I'm so incredibly blessed. I have a wonderful, close-knit family. I have both of my parents still here on this planet. I have a wonderful man in my life and great friends. And if you want to get materialistic, I have a house, I have a car, I have all those Americanized things that we think we have to be somebody.
Right.
Like, I know that I'm blessed, and actually I get angry with myself for getting down and into that darkness, because, like, left brain's going, you have so much to be thankful for.
Yeah.
What the hell is your problem?
Yeah, you could have been born in North Korea.
Right, exactly. I mean, I could be living in a in a van down by the river.
Nice.
No, I had to break the moment for a second. Sorry.
No, that's good.
But seriously, I'm so incredibly blessed. And what do I have to be depressed about? But I think it's more just emotion. That a lot of people say that I'm like an empath, and I've researched a lot about that, and it makes sense to me because a lot of times, and it's funny, being a musician and being around crowds of people, like if I go to a party with a lot of people, immediately everybody'd think I'd just, waltz in and be like, woo!
Mm-hmm.
I immediately go to the back corner because it's like I feel everything from everybody around me.
Yeah.
And then those who are closest to me, I completely take on their emotion and their pain. And I feel it from the depth of my soul.
Yeah.
And it's hard carrying all that around sometimes. But then again, I'm happy to do it because I think it makes me a good human being, and it makes me a good friend and someone that someone can love and trust and depend on. So,
yeah. I mean, it's like your cross is very heavy and the uphill walk is really hard, but there's
I hate to compare it to Jesus.
Well, no. I'm not comparing it to Jesus. I'm using a very
the cross that I bear.
Yeah, everybody bears their own cross.
Well, true.
And I'm saying this metaphorically, so people, if Christianity doesn't register you, who off. But I'm just saying, it's a good metaphor, right? The cross that you bear is very heavy, and the uphill walk is tremendous, but there's a major league purpose. Even if you don't believe that, the analogy I'm using, just the concept of it, if you think about it, it's the purpose that you're doing it for is much more than just yourself, right?
Exactly.
And that's why you do it. Because like you just said, you're around all these people and you're carrying their burdens, you're carrying their energy on your back. I get that. Other people might be scratching their head at that.
The mountain because you asked me to. Went up to the mountain because you asked me to. I'm like, I totally get it. That's
so great. I don't have to ask her to do a cappella now, Matt. I was going to ask you at the end if you wanted to do some music, but you've been.
Well, no, and that was a little off key. I'd rather redeem myself.
Oh, okay. Well, we can do that too. That's interesting and very powerful too, and very intimate. Thank you for sharing it. At the end of the day, though, if you ever had to think about your own personal legacy, right, and what people, the way they perceive you and what you've added to this world, what would that be? What's your lasting, leaving legacy? What poems do they write about you? What's edged into eternity about you specifically? Lauren, Sassy, what do people think about when they reminisce in that concept?
Mitchell, this is something that's so hard for me because you haven't been the first person to ask me this question.
Excellent.
And I immediately go to the negative, and I'm like whatever, anybody's going to even notice if I'm not here. But I've had so many dear friends and also, love of my life, Glenn, talk about sorry.
No, you're good.
That if you weren't here, you'd leave an extreme void in the world, and everybody would say that life's a little less brighter without you. And something that really touched me and out of nowhere a couple of weeks ago actually was from my best friend Cheryl, and we were kind of having the same discussion, and she looked at me and she said, when people hear you sing, I've never seen it. I've never seen someone touch others complete strangers like you do and completely change their life for that moment. And of course, I'm sitting over there going, whatever. This is crazy talk. And she's like, no, you don't understand. Like, you have so much emotion and feeling about you, and you care. You care about other people, and it shows. So, I would hope that if I weren't here anymore, that, yeah, people would notice. And that they'd say exactly what Glenn said, that it would be a huge void in their life.
I agree. I agree with Glenn. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Like you're too bright of an individual, right? Sometimes I feel like I should be wearing my sunglasses to look directly.
Oh, stop it.
Seriously though, I mean, I talk a lot of I blow around a lot, right? I blow smoke, I goof off with people, but like I mean it. Like this has been a very engaging conversation that I've had with you, Sassy.
I agree. Thank you.
And also really appreciate you pouring your heart out like that. That's not easy for people to do that, especially for somebody. I'm not a perfect stranger to you, but you don't really know me. This is, like I said earlier, this is like the first time, and we've known each other because we're friends with mutual people. And then we've seen each other out in public at shows and different things like that. But this is the first time we've ever actually really intimately one-on-one, like talked to each other and really established a rapport, right?
Absolutely.
And
well, that's why you're good at what you do.
Maybe, but you're captivating and you're fun. Even all that aside, all that, like, you just, for me personally, and this is my opinion, I can't speak for everybody else, but like for me, you are an exciting, fun person. Like I've had fun with you.
Yeah, same.
Fun. That'll be another bleep. Sorry, Matt. I just got to bleep all these out. I've had fun. I've had a lot of fun. And I've also learned a lot. And, I've been enriched. My soul and heart, cheesy, poetic as that sound, has been enriched. And I appreciate that. I really do. Appreciate you coming on here. You were nervous and you did well. You did really well. You didn't skip a beat.
Well, thank you.
Before we sign off and get you to promote your band and stuff, you want to do actual, like, do a little acapella for us? Anything you want?
Oh, sure.
To sing?
Hang on, I got a cough.
You can't cough. That's it. It's over. We can't do this now.
No, I remember the first time we went to Memphis for the International Blues Challenge, and we were at the hotel, and there was these chicks out in the hallway, and they were all like, me, and like doing warm-ups and shit. La. Yeah, and I'm like walking out with my ice bucket, and I was like, hey, talking to everybody, and we struck up a conversation, and I was like, I see you're warming up, and they're like, yeah, and they were like, what do you do to warm up? And I'm like, drink whiskey and smoke cigarettes. I'm like, it's blues music. It's blues music, people. I mean, that's what you do.
Man. Do what you do. Be happy and proud of it.
So,
unless it's like murder and rape, don't do that.
No, that's bad. So, actually, a song, and I'm not gonna sing the whole thing, but very dear to my heart. And actually, one of the songs that landed my first guitar player. We were at a Magic City Blues Society blues jam, and got up on the stage, and I, sang something, and then he looked at me and he said, "Do you know I'd rather go blind?" And that was something very random for a jam because it's not like a jam song. And I was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Let's do that. I'll, lead the band." I'm like, "Okay." So, and also that I lost a very, very dear friend to actually H1N1 and pneumonia from that. So, very similar to what we're going through today.
Mm-hmm.
And that song reminds me of him. So it's always a lot of emotion to it. But anyway, I do it a little differently than Etta James. But so it's I'd rather go blind.
Okay, let's hear it.
Something told me that it was over, baby. When I saw you and him walking in. Something deep down deep down in my soul said, cry, girl. When I saw you and that girl talking again. And you see, I'd rather be a blind girl than to see you walk away from me. And you see that I love you. I love you so. I love you so much. But most of all, I don't want to be free. No. It's also hard to sing after crying.
That was still awesome, though.
Thank you.
That was cool. Blues vocals, ladies and gentlemen. A cappella.
That's whiskey and cigarettes.
Boom. There you go. So let me get you to promote your band, and then we're out of here.
Oh, okay. So Sassy Brown, the Sassy Brown Band. You can find us at sassybrownband.com. Don't go to Sassy. Well, you can go to sassybrown.com, but you have to pay to enter. But she's cute, if that's your thing. But sassybrownband.com. Also on Facebook at Sassy Brown Band. Check us out. We've got a live show in Pelham Park on Sunday, October 17th from 4:30 to 6. So beautiful, should be beautiful weather. Sit outside, bring a picnic, bring a bottle of wine, and come enjoy the Sassy Brown Band.
Boom. Sassy, thank you so much.
Oh, Mitchell, it's been a pleasure.
God bless you, girl.
Yes, God bless you as well. Thank you.
Ladies and gents, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Wrestling Diaries. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Go to YouTube for the video content. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more content. Leave us a review on the audio streams and comment, like, share. It helps us show up in more algorithms for us to grow, and growing is important, just like it is for life in general, right? And so we want to grow. We want to get bigger. We want to get stronger, and I think it would be a good thing. I usually give like a final thought on these episodes, like Jerry Springer, that's my deal. Like, oh, so today, you're
what 99% the daddy.
What we've learned is that, you shouldn't sleep around with other people. Take care of yourselves and each other. I do that, but I honestly, this is one of these rare moments where the final thought is if you've listened to this point, if you watched to this point, then you've already heard everything. And I really don't have anything to say, There's major purpose in all the things that was said. There's major light, and it's very bright. It's blinding. And I don't know. What do you wrestle with, and how can you beat it? One love.